Okay, now let's see how to use ChatGPT to better understand the steps to solve the following problem. So basically, we need to write a we need to write the program that asks the user to enter a distance in inches. Then the program should convert the distance from inches to centimeters and print the result. But I try to give you as much information as needed to solve this already, but we can imagine that in real life you will have only basically the title for your problem. So basically the problem is, how do I convert inches into centimeters? If you have no idea, you can search on Google, or you can ask this question to ChatGPT. How do I convert inches to centimeters? I reduced a lot the question, but okay. Basically, and here is the answer. So basically, we can see that we need to multiply distance in inches by this factor, and it will give us a distance in centimeters. We have several examples here. I think it's very well explained. Now, it's okay. It's a general knowledge. And what about Python? So I asked ChatGPT to help me. How can I solve these kind of problems using Python? And here is step-by-step explanation. Very useful. I liked it a lot, and I liked it so much that I will decide to bring it here. I will paste it as a plain text or as a text, and I will transform this cell into markdown. What it does, it transforms it into I could say kind of comments, and we can give it a title, step by step. Step by step. To make a title, we add a hashtag and we run it, and step by step. So basically we need to understand the problem. I think it's okay. It's a very simple problem. Identify the input and the output. Here we have input and here we have output. Break down the problem into smaller sub-steps. So we can think about it. If we have no idea where to start, we can ask ChatGPT once again. So, and ChatGPT, I am asking, could you please help me to break into smaller steps this problem? And I give the problem. And the steps are here in more readable human language and more technical. So you can read and try to understand more technical level, but we can go with this part for now, with a more human readable approach. So basically we are here, break down the problem. And we will paste it here. This is our guidance. Those we can use as a comments for what we are doing. So the first thing to do is to ask the user to enter a distance in inches. As you remember, we have already worked with this kind of problems here. So as a guidance, you could use this code, copy this one, or ask ChatGPT, help need to adapt this code to ask user for a distance in inches. So the code was modified with all the explanations. Distance string very well, then distance. Yes, we need it to be greater or equal to 0, or when it's yeah. So we will evaluate what are the answers, and we have very detailed explanation what was changed and why. So very good. Thank you, Chat GPT, for the explanation. Paste. Basically, I don't like the word distance here. I would add in inches, distance in inches. Perfect. Now we need to adopt the right naming here. Perfect. And we have our distance in inches, and the type of our variable we expect to be a float. Perfect. So now we can read the input and store it as a variable. So what was done here? Yes, so this comment goes here. Now we need to convert the distance from inches to centimeters using this formula. When you see numbers like this, normally you should avoid using them because they are called magic numbers. So if you are not aware of the context, you will ask what's this number, where it comes from. So avoid using hard-coded numbers and try to use them as a constants or as other variables. Here we know that this factor, conversion factor, will not change because conversion factor. So this is a constant, and constant name we write in capital letters. Now, what is the formula? We have formula here. Basically, what do we have here? We take our distance in inches, we multiply this distance by a conversion factor. What we are doing, why we are doing this? To obtain our distance in centimeters. So let's give the right name. Distance in centimeters. Distance in centimeters is equal distance in inches multiplied by conversion factor. Perfect. So the next thing to do, at least what Chat GPT suggested us to do, is a distance in centimeters needs to be rounded. So to do this, we use the round function where we give distance in centimeters, and we say that we need only 2 decimal places as an answer. Later, we can print result of the conversion with an appropriate message. So when you have a longer message to print, it is wise to use a formatted string. Basically, you will bring the expected answer here. You know that this part will not change. The only thing that will change here is the distance in inches and the distance in centimeters. So basically, what you need to do, you bring your variables here and you replace this part of the string with distance in inches, and then comes your text will be replaced by another variable that will change. So basically the rest will stay unchanged. The only thing that will be changed, we replaced it with variables using string formats. And let's run this piece of code. So we can put 15 as an inches. And we can see that this part is used as it is, as we gave it, but the answer was rounded. So maybe there is this could be a good idea to change this part of code as well. So basically round this to 2 decimals. So if user will give us something longer, it will be done automatically. So let's try it. Very long. And we can see that now it is better rounded, and it's really rounded. So you can see from the point of view of math, it was well rounded. And what's about this part? So we can see that this part is kind of redundant. So basically we can do the same here without creating an additional steps. So we can round the distance in inches, and we will put multi-line comment here before this step. And let's run once again to check if it's working as it's supposed to be working. Yes, perfect. So everything is rounded. It's as expected. Now, what we can do in the next step, we can copy our code and ask Chat GPT. Could you suggest any improvement to my code? So, and now it's up to us to understand if the suggestions from ChatGPT are valid for our goal. So you can see that it's already was improved. It was already improved. Yes, and here you can see that it is suggestion. The suggestion is to transform our code into a function. So here we go, but it's for the next classes, not for the assignment. And when you understood what's going on here, basically, you can write your code. You can delete what was done here and to write yourself this code, to be able to write it rapidly in the future and to have the whole understanding. So you use the help of Chat GPT to understand how to transform your current problem into the algorithm. It helps you to explain everything, and then you can write your own code. But this one, I can see through this code that it was worked. So it was not the solution directly from ChatGPT. If you want to see and to compare, you can create a new ChatGPT and solve this issue using Python 3. So as you can see, you have your solution here, but now you can compare this one to the first one, and you will see that the one you worked through each path, each step is very well explained and more consistent and more clear, and it catches a lot of potential problems. So you use try and accept. You are catching the possibility of the negative values from the user, and so on, so on. So it is a very different approach, and I can see through these codes that it was very well thought through. If compared with this solution, yes, it will work, but you check the input from user only once. So if you have problems, if the user will not give you the right answer right away, your program will be broken. So that's it for now.